welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. Aloha Friday. It's been quite a week. I can't believe it's already Friday. I mean, it's like the whole week just passed by. The days are just going by so quickly. I have no idea what happened. What happened to the year? But anyway, it's been quite a bit about a lot of news that are coming out today, especially in Hollywood, especially in regards to genre films. This one may be a bit of a bummer because a lot of these movies I've been looking forward to, and it seems like we're going to have to wait a little longer. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Paramount Pictures. Paramount Pictures just released on Variety. All these movies are going to be delayed. Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? Some of these are actually coming early. Oh, cool. So Snake Eyes, previously scheduled for October 22nd, is now opening at July 23rd of this year. Oh, cool. Okay, Jackass, I don't really care about that, but previously scheduled for September 3rd is now open October 22nd, 2021. Top Gun Maverick, I was looking forward to this one. Scheduled for July 2nd. Well, now that's delayed to November 19th. Mission Impossible 7, another Tom Cruise movie I was very much looking forward to. Scheduled for November 19th. Oh, now it's... Oh, wait, no, it's later. It's much later. It's next year. May 27th. Untitled Bee Gees movie, Dungeons and Dragons, May 27, 2022 to another year, 2023. Wow. Untitled Star Trek movie is announced for June 9th, 2023. So there is an another Star Trek movie. I'm wondering, is this another, are they going to do Chris Pine and them again? Or I hope so, because I really love that group. And I think they're a really great cast, and I hopefully to have more of them. Unfortunately, I know one of the actors passed away, but it's still, I think they could do something. And I'm wondering if this is the Quentin Tarantino written or even directed Star Trek. I've always thought that would have been so interesting, intriguing to see Quentin Tarantino tackle Star Trek. What that would have been like. Maybe it's that one. I don't know. Mission Impossible 8. They're already talking about 8. They didn't even have 7 yet. 2022 is now 2023. The Shrinking of Treehorn. What is that? An untitled Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski film is announced for November 17th, 2023. So there you have it. Now about that last film, there's actually a little blurb here. This is actually coming from Discussing Film. Ryan Reynolds, John Krasinski star. Krasinski will also direct, the director for Quiet Place. It is expected to follow a man who can see and talk to people's imaginary friends, and he must stop the ones that get forgotten and turn evil. It sounds like a comedy, and I think it will be, considering Ryan Reynolds here. So that's going to be an interesting original film from John Krasinski and Ryan Reynolds as well. So that's interesting. All right, well, that is Paramount Pictures. Let's get into a little bit of DC before we tackle some Zack Snyder stuff, because there's a lot of crazy things happen. It is finally happening. Finally happening. I know I said yesterday he has been cast since 2014. What I really meant to say was he's been cast as Black Adam for 14 years. 2007 to be exact. Well, November 2007. But, it's almost 14 years since everyone knew that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was going to be Black Adam one day, someday. And that day has finally arrived. He is now starting to shoot Black Adam day one. Oh my God. It's finally happening. It seems more real now. Every time they delay, they postpone, you're like, this movie's never going to happen. It's never going to happen unless they start shooting. And now they finally have. There you have it. There is the clapperboard for Black Adam. History in the making. Extremely excited, and what a humbling moment to share with you. Officially kicking off day one of filming our Black Adam. Our director and maestro, Jaume Colette Serra, our Academy Award nominee, Joker, director of photography. Oh, wait. What? DP from Joker? Okay, this movie's going to look amazing, I think. Oh, okay. All right. Lawrence Sher. That's cool. Or Cher. That's cool. Okay. I'm looking forward to what this movie looks like now. We have an all-star production crew, incredibly talented and galvanized, committed, and focused to raise the bar and deliver something special for the world. This one is in honor, protector of the people, Man in Black, Black Adam, Day 1. Protector of the people. I thought there was a bad guy. Well, definitely looks like a set here. I mean, this is probably one of those sets like in ancient Egypt or something. And they got the clapperboard right there. He's all ready to go with the official title logo here. Black Adam. Roll 3, scene, whatever. You know, not that I take 2. They already did 1 take. So that's cool to see. That's amazing. Finally, 14 years later, we're gonna get to see Black Adam. But what a journey since we've seen Black Adam. Like, we knew he was Black Adam, and then later on they teased that he was gonna be with Henry Cavill. He was with Henry Cavill. Then later on, like, now he's going to fight against not just any old body, the Justice Society of America. Like, we were finally seeing JSA for the first time on screen, live action in a big motion picture. That's amazing. And he's going to fight all of them? Yes. Like I said, this, out of all the other Warner Brother Pictures movies that I'm excited for, this one's it. This one is the one I was looking forward to. I was looking forward to him because if you think about it, The Rock is literally OG, like OG, like after Man of Steel OG, just amazingly been here this long, and he's been Black Adam. Like, he was Black Adam this whole time, right? Like, if you were to talk OG DCU, he is part of it. You never seen him. Like, you don't know, you haven't been, you didn't have a movie, but now he has. It's 14 years later. We're finally, it's going to be a little longer than that, but they're finally shooting something. They're finally shooting the movie. We're finally going to get to see that movie. And it's a reality now. So, wow, amazing. So, congratulations to The Rock. Looking forward to Black Adam. I'm looking forward. We got to see those shots, man. If I know Black Adam, he can't help but share what he's shooting. And so he's probably going to have a lot of behind the scenes, I'm expecting, unless, Warner Brothers shuts him down. But you probably expect, we're probably going to see some costumes pretty soon. Some suits, and that's one of the things that I'm really excited about when it starts a new production, is the costumes. I want to see the costumes. I want to see the suits. I want to see what it looks like. So Black Adam is right there. Black Adam's happening. I can't believe it. It's finally here. Black Adam's actually finally happening. Wow. All right. Well, awesome. Okay, so that is Black Adam. Next is not in the DCU, but it's just as exciting. Army of the Dead, right? Zack Snyder tweeted out, "I'm forming a new team for a dangerous mission, but I must warn you, the last crew didn't make it. Get ready, crack the codes, find the hidden URL, and be one of the lucky few to join the Army of the Dead trailer preview event. Limited spots." Now, when you click on this earlier today, there was like all these different cameras. You see all these zombies lumbering around. Someone thought they saw Ray Fisher. I don't know if that's true. But yeah, and that happened. That was kind of fun. Crack the codes and stuff like that. But I got the pass too. So I got RSVP trailer preview event on Tuesday, and Zack Snyder posted about Tuesday as well. Mission accomplished, team. You've cracked the code. Get ready for the trailer drop on Tuesday. Zack Snyder film, story by Zack Snyder, screenplay by Zack Snyder, and other Shay Hatton, Jovi Harrell, and directed by Zack Snyder. So May 21st, but Tuesday morning, and it's really early too. If you got the RSVP, you know what time it is. It says 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm like, oh shit, that's like 4:30 my time because of daylight savings time. I'm like, oh my god, I have to wake up early for this one, just like the last time. But looking forward to it. I'll probably be well worth it watching that trailer. So I can't wait for that Army of the Dead trailer. Okay, the next thing is Justice League. Now, this is a cool little video from Joe Manganiello. He says, help raise much needed funds for AFSP National. We are auctioning limited original signed and framed character portraits that Zack Snyder shot during Zack Snyder's Justice League additional photography. And I showed you the auction one yesterday, so you can take a look at that. But he's showing out his house. He's showing off a little bit of his house here. And I'm going to play it for you right now. Let's try it.
What's up, everybody? Joe Manganiello here to show you a couple of the fine art pieces that you are going to be able to bid on in the Zack Snyder hosted auction benefiting the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. If you can see behind me, there are a couple of shots that Zack took of me with his Leica camera on the set of the Nightmare sequence in the Snyder Cut. There's me in my full armor with the swords, and right behind me over here is another close-up of the back of my head, freshly shaved into the mohawk. You can feel the stubble on the side of my head, the fluffiness of my mohawk, the leather of the strap, the carbon fiber of the army. These shots are incredible. They were blown up by the guy who used to blow up Herb Ritz's photos, framed, fully framed, beautiful art prints for your house, for your office. These are really incredibly high quality works, and they're also signed and numbered. And if you can see there, that's 2 of 2, right? I own the 2 of 2s. You're going to be able to bid on the 1 of 2s. And not only are the Deathstroke images available, you're also going to be able to get Mira, Batman, Joker, and Cyborg. You're also going to be able to bid on the Shoe Surgeon is making a special pair of Snyder Cut shoes. And Dominic's incredible talent, so you're going to love those too. So click on the link, go check it out, make a bid, donate. I'm telling you, these are beautiful. Own a piece of movie history. You can't go wrong, and it's for a great cause.
Right, I forgot about the shoes. I forgot to mention the shoes, I think. I thought maybe I did, I don't know. But yeah, there's still, I think the auction is still going on. And the more you wait, the bid's going to get higher and higher, so absolutely. But go for a good cause and some great stuff. Like you said, own a piece of history. The Snyder Cut has never really happened at this scale before. This is different. This has changed Hollywood forever, I would believe. And own a piece of history if you can, if you have the money, if you have the funds. But like I said, going to a great cause. So this is really awesome. Great to see him so enthusiastic about this. Like, come on, restore the Snyderverse. Let's get his Deathstroke HBO Max series. Let's get his Batman versus Deathstroke. Let's get Justice League 2 and 3. I would love to see that. Definitely. All right, we're going to continue about Zack Snyder's Justice League a little bit here. Now, this is a podcast, or like a recording called The Rough Cut, Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is between the editors David Brenner, Dodi Dorn, and Carlos Castellan. The editors joined forces, though not all at the same time, to tackle one of the most discussed, debated, and anticipated recuts in the history of filmmaking. Thanks to incredible social media support from a dedicated fan base, the film found new life on HBO Max. Clocking it at over 4 hours, the film digs deeper into the backstories of superheroes of Justice League and employs a new coda to lay the groundwork for a larger Snyderverse. Right, groundwork for a larger Snyderverse. And hopefully we get that, right? Hopefully we get that. We got the crew here that talks a bit about it. In their discussion, they talked about whether the epic 4-hour film was ever conceived as a series. Now, this is a 49-minute podcast, and I encourage you, I'm going to link this episode to listen to it. But to summarize, rather, briefly, they did say that the intention from the beginning was to work it as a series. So that's confirmed. It was supposed to be a series, like we've confirmed many times before, but they confirmed themselves that it was supposed to be a series, but because of contractual obligations and stuff like that, they couldn't make it work, and so it had to be a movie. So hopefully, I think maybe the sequels, when we, hopefully it gets restored to Snyderverse, it will be a series, and that longer form of narrative works better that way, and contracts and stuff like that. And how adding more material to a film can make it actually feel shorter, and you're right, that was a 4-hour movie, felt like 2 hours. I felt it could go on longer, and to be honest, they had a 4 hour and 30-minute cut. A 4-hour and 30-minute cut. I want to see that 30 minutes. There must be some good 30 minutes in there. I don't know, but I would love to see 4 hours and 30 minutes. Call me crazy, but I'm like, if there is a 30 more minutes to this, I would love to see it. Please, no. Maybe later on they'll have the Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut edition. Just kidding. But it's fun to hear them talk, but also sad as well because, like it said there, keeping Zack's cut alive between films. That's absolutely true. Especially from the beginning. From the beginning, they, David, the editors revealed that there was about a month of last-minute rewrites done to Justice League to solve script issues the studio had, and it delayed filming. So actually, in kind of sense, Zack approved this one. He's like, this is Zack Snyder's Justice League, but his original idea was already compromised prior to shooting anyway. It was already compromised at the beginning. And Zack also said that at the art center where he was like, look, we never got to shoot that. We had to rewrite this whole thing. There's so many different rewrites before filming could begin. So the delayed filming from April 2016, I think, to May 2016. So that actually happened, which is kind of sad. Even more sad and kind of frustrating that they had an A cut, a B, or C cut. I may be getting the actual lingo of that wrong, but basically they had multiple cuts, one shorter than the other, and they're trying to get the studio to approve it. They got the studio to approve a 2-hour and 40-minute cut, and then they came back and says, you got to make it a 2-hour cut, which is, when Zack was at that point, he's not happy. And who would be, right? Look at all that work and all, just shave all that down, and the studio just keep on going at it, and it really, really makes it all frustrating, including that, he lost his daughter as well, and he tried to push through it, but, that didn't work out. Decisions behind using a 1.33 aspect ratio. There's a lot of technical stuff in there that I suggest you listen to this, and it makes this for very interesting conversations there. Using sounds from the broader Snyderverse for Justice League. So they're using different things, and actually there's the Whedon line, "You smell good," almost made it into Zack Snyder's Justice League, but Deborah Snyder actually caught it in one of the final reviews of the Snyder Cut. So that was an interesting one as well. So a lot of cool little things in there. I suggest listening to it, but it's kind of interesting to see all these people come out now just recently to just talk about their experience in Justice League, how the studio messed with it and everything, how they loved working with Zack. That you, from all these interviews, is you get that they loved working with Zack. They absolutely care about him. They want to make sure. In fact, when Zack left, Zack told him, you guys stay. And they're like, you sure? And they're like, you stay because maybe you guys can keep some stuff in there, and absolutely they tried their best. But great work for the little amount of time they had. The 4-hour cut it's absolutely amazing. But still, yeah, man, I would love to see the 4-hour 3-minute cut if that was ever a possibility down the road or something like that. But that would be kind of cool. A little bit more. Justice League. There's this IndieWire article. It's an interview. So another interview that came out inside Justice League with a cinematographer who shot and fought for Zack Snyder's version, Fabian Wagner, on being the first to bash the theatrical version, visiting Whedon set, and a potential Game of Thrones reunion with Miguel Sapochnik. So I'm going to read you the Justice League portion of this. Cinematographer Fabian Wagner was one of the first crew or cast members to publicly speak out against Joss Whedon's version of Justice League, which was theatrically released in 2017. The German DP lent early credence to the release of Snyder Cut movement's fervent belief that they'd been lied to, that the theatrical version was not Warner Bros. DC and Whedon carrying out Zack Snyder's vision after the director stepped away following a family tragedy. Wagner was one of the first to clearly and publicly state that Whedon rewrote and reshot most of the movie, throwing out 90% of the original material. Jean-Philippe Gossart is credited as both the second unit director of photography and additional director of photography on Justice League. If there is a Snyder Cut, I hope it's better than the one that is out now, said the cinematographer in the summer of 2019, adding, he cried when he saw the theatrical version. Amazing. Man. Warner Brothers, they're such dicks. When Zack Snyder's Justice League streaming on HBO Max, the world can see what Wagner was crying about. IndieWire spoke to Wagner about the art behind the 4-hour version, what it was like to visit the Whedon reshoot, and the potential of his reuniting with Game of Thrones director. And so I'm probably not going to read that portion, though. Going back to 2017, you and your team had wrapped and exited the project well before Zack stepped away, correct? And he says, absolutely. Zack started editing. He did the first 3 trailers with all the material shot by us in 2016. I was actually in LA at that time, and we were color correcting some of the trailers to come out. I know you were on another project, but were you ever asked to do the reshoots with Whedon? Wagner said this. They got in touch briefly to see if I was around, but obviously I wasn't so. It's not clear to me who shot the 7 weeks of reshoots. Do you know? I'm not entirely sure, but I think the guy who did our second unit did most of it. I was actually shooting a movie in the same studio space where they were doing the reshoots, so I only dropped in on the set once, which was a strange experience. It was a very different than what I had experienced with Zack, so I wasn't there for long. And obviously, I knew how many days they were reshooting, so that kind of sets off the alarm bells. You think, wow, that's a lot of, how's that going to work? It doesn't sound like there was a lot of communication with you and your original camera department. There wasn't, but I don't think our second unit DP would be to blame. There was a much higher power that decided what to do differently. He did a great job picking up things for us doing second unit. I just think there were been bigger forces at play with that. But yeah, certainly I was kind of disappointed. Being invested a lot of time and love and energy in what I was doing with Zack, to be cut off like that? But what can you do? In seeing the new 4-hour version, I really appreciated the choreography of the camera, these big, sweeping, dramatic camera moves, combined with a distinct use of slow motion and how that all those pieced together in these dramatic set pieces. Clearly, that is part of Zack's vision, but I'm wondering how that evolves from idea to execution. It's an interesting collaboration. I always had been a fan of Zack's movies and his usual DP, Larry Fong. He's such a visual, creative director who is obviously filled with ideas. He's a real trendsetter. When I first met with him, he had the whole movie storyboarded. He's also a great artist when it comes to drawing. He took me through the whole movie. He knows what he wants, but is very open to other ideas and listens to you. I introduced a second camera to him, which I was operating. At the beginning, I thought maybe I'll get to shoot 2 shots a week, because I knew he was used to shooting single camera. And by week 2, he was like, "Where's my other camera?" He laughs. And we did some great stuff. We'd have one camera that does all the planned stuff, and within there's a certain freedom you have as well. He pretty much knows the shot, but if you come up with something in a similar vein, he's totally open to that. And then there's the B camera that I was literally running around with and finding things we hadn't thought of before. And what about the slow motion? He laughs. The one thing we know about Zack is that he loves slow motion, so you have to be prepared for that. There's a technical aspect. If you crank up the camera, you need a lot more light, so you have to be prepared for that. I was ready on most sets. I was always prepared to kick the light up a couple f-stops. What about the actual speed of the slow motion? Does Zack know the exact degree of overcranking he wants? Is that specific on set? Is it all in camera? No, in camera. For example, the stuff with Ray Fisher playing American football, I don't remember how fast, frames per second, but we knew going in on that day. I wanted to establish that because this is the part that stunned me while watching this 4-hour version. These scenes have such a gravitas and breadth. Regardless of studio interference, regardless of whatever Joss Whedon did, it's hard to understand how this was ever going to be delivered in a studio-mandated 2.5-hour cut. Forget about cutting story or scenes for a moment. Was this very specific camera for choreography timed to these slower, more drawn-out scenes in the 4-hour version? Absolutely. We thought about all that very carefully. I always say Zack doesn't make certain movies to a certain time frame. He takes the time he takes to make his movies. This was always going to be a long movie. You have 6 superheroes with backstories. That's why you'd call a 2-hour version kind of a massacre. Let's talk, like Chris Terrell called it, vandalism. Fabian Wagner calls it a massacre. Let's talk visual effects. This is a dark movie, and you also have just a ton of VFX. There are light sources shooting across and through frame. Fire, bolts of electricity, and mother boxes. How do you take into account these dynamic light sources that aren't present on set? Oh, that's interesting. If the visual effects follows the lead that you're created on set, you'll end up with better CGI work afterwards. So a lot of the stuff we came up with involves interactive light on set. If there's flames, if there's fire, I tend to use real flame, complemented and supplemented with film lights, obviously. But if there's an explosion, I'll do an explosion with flame bar that goes up. I'll do a flamethrower or whatever we can get to that real effect, because that's the effect we see on the surroundings. So I'll see the fire effect on the actors. I'll set it on the sets, and so I do a lot of interactive lighting, whether it was Flash going slow-mo or Steppenwolf and his axe hitting the floor, any of that. Then you have these Aquaman scenes, which create a sense of a fluid underwater light. Can you talk about not only how you did these scenes, but how he landed there? I have to imagine this required experimentation. We talked about the idea of doing it for real out on the water, but that went out the water rather quick, so to speak, because obviously we had so much to do in the water and all the dialogue scenes that was not an option. So we quickly decided to see how much we could do above the water. We came with a lot of ideas. We were testing for movement, how the actors moved on the water. We were doing makeup and lighting tests, various different color options, and in the end, I came up with a solution that involved what we call rock and roll lights. These are basically festival concert lights that rotate, and you can put different patterns into them, and they move. I was just thinking about how if you're underwater and the sunlight hits the water, the light breaks and creates all these different patterns, so I was thinking along those lines. Wow, that's pretty cool. It had to be an odd experience for you when Justice League hit theaters. You're the credited cinematographer. You're proud of your work, and something like 75% is footage you didn't shoot. You even did an interview with the American Society of Cinematographers. There had to be a little bit of weirdness when it came out, right? I did that interview, and I'm doing it again now, actually, because by the time I did the interview, I hadn't seen the movie. I was talking about the movie the way we'd shot it, but I hadn't seen the final version. Yes, and it was very strange. It was a very devastating experience. There are two things. I was thinking about Zack and all the horrible things he went through, and then obviously I knew the movie I shot was Zack, and I knew what Zack was going to do with it. I could see the movie Zack had it in his head. So to see that movie and to see the color grade and everything we aimed for and we did in our rushes, dailies were generated with predetermined color grade and timing, for example, was completely different. Yeah, I was devastated. This was a huge movie for me. It was an amazing experience to work with the Snyders and the whole team. I had a great time on that set. So to watch that movie was horrible. In reading interviews, it is very clear there is a real open and familial atmosphere on the Snyder set. You met your wife on Justice League? There's a reason it was such a good shoot. Wow. So he met his wife too. That's pretty awesome. That's really cool. Taking into account that sense of family surrounding Snyders, I'm curious what prompted you to be one of the first and most prominently speak about how badly butchered the Whedon cut was. Just looking back how IndieWire covered the Snyder cut in the theaters, between the two biggest articles were you speaking up. Was there a sense within that Justice League family that it was time to start speaking up in comparison to how close-mouthed everyone was during the initial release of 2017? What triggered that? No, but that's a good question. I've always been speaking up for Zack and his work, and all those things coincided. When the movement first started, I openly said I thought it was great, but I didn't think it'd go anywhere. And then it went on and on. I think it's about the fans. If I can make someone happy by showing a picture from a Zack Snyder set, then yeah, let's do it. But to your question, I'm not sure what point and how it happened. It was probably just all these things coming together. So that's pretty much it about that interview in regards to Zack Snyder's Justice League. You can definitely hear it in his voice, and you see it. You know, he was devastated, absolutely devastated. Called it a massacre what Whedon did, and Warner Brothers did, and you know, hopefully that doesn't happen again. But atrocious, atrocious. So sad that he had gone through that. And I think there's going to be more interviews coming in. I don't know who and what and where. But according to Hannah Inez Flint, there is another interview coming to Empire Magazine. Can't wait for y'all to read my profile of Ray Fisher in the new issue of Empire, and utter delight. And she kind of zoomed in because this is the actual comic, the cover here with Tom Hiddleston as Loki. But it says Ray Fisher is not broken. The Justice League star ends his silence. So more stuff is coming out, and this time through Empire magazine. And I'm wondering how much more. Like, what is triggering all this? Why is there all these stuff is coming out? Is there a reason? I don't know, but I hope there is a reason. I hope this is all just curious, maybe crossing my fingers, I guess. This is all a planned thing in order to just catapult it a little bit. Maybe in an effort to throw a lot of shade at Warner Brothers, but to show that their leadership is not quite there. Their leadership is continued to still not be so good. And we need to change that leadership in order for these other creators and directors to... I mean, can you imagine if Walter Hamada, right, has the same type of toxic beliefs of just changing up stuff like Toby Emmerich had? Like, he's there, sitting next to Andy Muschietti, in a sense, and driving that conversation. Like, I don't wonder if how Andy is feeling about that. Like, changing all this stuff, right, for The Flash. I think Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has a lot of clout and pull that no one's going to mess with him. He's going to like, you ain't touching my film, you know. And I think he has a lot of pull with that. So I think for in my eyes, I think Black Adam will probably be a very much 100% black, not Black Adam. I'm calling him Black Adam, but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's vision there. So I think that will be pretty safe with that. But now we're going to get another Ray Fisher interview. I can't wait to read it. And of course, if I get a copy or something, I'll definitely read it to you guys on a show. But some cool little positive notes about Zack Snyder's performance, Zack Snyder's Justice League performance. Cinealytic had published these numbers. Disney Plus's Falcon and Winter Soldier takes #1 in TV for last week's streaming data. However, Zack Snyder's Justice League performed strongly for the second week in a row. Find out how Cinealytic tracks streaming data here, and there's a little picture here that shows us top U.S. content consumption week March 22nd to 29th. So that's like 4 days after, it's the week after Zack Snyder's release. Zack Snyder's Justice League market share is 27%, and top 20 TV shows, Falcon and Winter Soldier is 15.6. So that really takes the cake here. It beat up all these other guys right here. So that's really cool. I don't know what really peer-to-peer views, it's still kind of thing, but at least it's a chart. Not necessarily HBO Max's own chart yet, but people are pulling out more numbers, showcasing the success Zack Snyder's Justice League has. And you know what? Like, it sometimes doesn't even have, in my mind, it doesn't even have to be #1. Because literally, like, if it's in the top 5 of any trending and anywhere, that should be phenomenal for a movie that is not being promoted by Warner Brothers themselves. They're trying to bury it. And we're pretty much doing a lot of the promotion ourselves, and and to be in the top 5 is freaking awesome. And for something that a movie that supposedly have come out 4 years ago, and people just think it's a director's cut, in order to perform that much is quite something. I think that in itself should be pretty amazing. So, for a director's cut, what people are calling it's a completely new film, but for the people, the regulars, the normies, right, to have it perform that, like, to an exec, to a smarter exec, to a smart corporate exec who actually wants money and stuff like that, looks at that, they're like, hey, look at that, it's performing in the top 5. That's amazing. Imagine if we had Justice League 2, a sequel, right? It's probably going to perform way better than that, and we put a lot of marketing into that. So I'd say that's impressive in itself. But let's see what AT&T thinks, and hopefully we'll find out soon, either before April 22nd or on that day. I don't know. Hopefully. Keep our fingers crossed in any case. But more interviews are coming out, and I think that's exciting. Just as exciting. Just as exciting. All right, well, that's it. Whoops. Let's get into the members' comments and questions now. Right here. We'll start off with Lee Fusion Robinson. By the way, if you want me to read your comment or question, please join as a member down below and then post a comment or question. And please let me know if any time, like for instance, this video says, Chris, I'm a member, I know I put a comment down. Please let me know. I'm searching. For some reason, they're saying it's being skipped. But according to this, when I can put this in, channel member, it should break out. And I even took this off and tried to find that comment, and well, I couldn't either. So let me know if it's not showing up. Okay, here we go. Lee Fusion Vision Robinson, who founded Warner Bros? I bet they're turning in their graves, for fuck's sake. I don't know. Warner Bros. Best not piss him off. Black Adam. Yeah. Kind of challenging what I just said earlier. Bowl of Indio Me. I still remember watching your video in the gym right before stepping to the theater with trepidation for Justice League 2017, and can't believe I watched 3 or 4 times of that crap just to support DCEU. Exactly. I hope Ray Ontario's articles will encourage more people to open up right until the investors meeting. Or seemingly, like we got Fabin Wagner again opening up again. We got the editors opening up. This is, I don't know. Open the floodgates, I wonder? I don't know. Manu Davis is going to have an original Aaron Johnson, who is a person of color, the New God script of the Muldiversity podcast, and she applies. He has many things to say. Oh, okay. There you go. This is good. That could really be spell some bad things for Warner Brothers. That's interesting. I didn't even know there was an original writer for that New God script. That's interesting. Ooh, let's be on the lookout for that. The optics of auctioning Mara's photos. I know, a lot of people don't like her. To be fair, most directors with films on streaming don't know the numbers. Several of those working with Netflix have said they don't tell us anything, so I don't think we'll ever know the real numbers. We'll just find out that Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 and 3 are a go. And I don't think Zack would necessarily tell everything to people that are not close to him. True. So hopefully, just crossing our fingers, everything is still good. Matthew and Taylor from the Culture Nerd discussed on the Lightcast podcast late last year the Civil War inside Warner Media. Yes, I've also said that as well. When that article came back out with Warner Max, that they had built Warner Max, I read the entire article, and that's where they're getting that from. That's where we're getting that from. There's always been a civil war when AT&T took over, because all of a sudden Warner Brothers like, who are these people? So that they're coming in and using our studio and doing this and that for HBO Max. So that has always been there when AT&T came on board. I get the skepticism with Hamada, but I doubt Andy Muschietti would have signed on if he didn't have the latitude and freedom he needs. He's not in the position Zack was in back with JL. Both IT films made an insane profit and were well received. That's true, but Zack's films were also really good, and 300 was well received, so don't count. I mean, I don't know how Walter Hamada works, but if someone like, even, it's still possible that you don't know what contracts are. Zack's film, Toby Emmerich was the final say for the cut. He had the final cut privileges on that. It's possible he also has final cut privileges on The Flash as well. There are certain directors, very big name, big directors that can definitely say, no, I got final cut privileges, like J.J. Abrams or something like that. They absolutely have final cut privileges. But, and I know this because, I've talked about the DGA and everything for a long time now, but in fact, I may have someone coming on with extensive knowledge in terms of that. So that may be a good question to ask him. I hope Terrio reveals his work title for BVS at JusticeCon, because Batman v Superman sounds like a court case to me. It kind of is the V, right? That's what, yeah. But yeah, since he's there, that's a good question. Like, whoever is going to interview him, say, hey, can you ask him what he would have named Batman v Superman? DC fans deserve a connected universe. I just did not understand the ridiculous conclusion that having a connected story narrative is a bad thing. It's an amazing thing, but it needs to be done with care and be allowed to be done well. The call to accept unconnected stories is Horseshit. Okay. It's incredibly unintelligent and reductionistic to ask for that. We should demand and demand better. Connected narratives are amazing and not the problem. Doing them badly is the problem. This is great that Warner Brothers has some necessary stink on them going into AT&T investor meeting on 4/22. Restore Snyderverse. Oh. So this might be good, right? All this stink on them. And 18 will probably ask them those questions maybe. So good thinking, Justin. Warner Bros. Is insulting my intelligence as a DC comic book fan. 2 Jon Stewarts will confuse the fans even though we told them about the multiverse? Huh? Exactly. The fans won't know what's going on in the Flash's time travel scene. Cut it and replace it with a Russian family? Excuse me? They don't understand that their fan base is decently intelligent. We would appreciate their respect. By the way, your daily DC rants are the best. Keep it well. Thanks. Appreciate it. I wasn't sure. Sometimes I'm like, am I going on too long? But I got to tell you how I feel. That is as much honesty as I can give you is just tell you how I feel. But yeah, I mean, come on. We know this stuff. We already know this stuff. It's easy to explain. I think it's because it's because they're like suits, and so they don't get it. So it's like, well, we don't get it, and because we're so much ego in our heads, we think nobody's gonna get it like how we are because we're stupid, so we think everybody else stupid. So, but actually, it's they're stupid, and we're actually smarter than them. So it's kind of funny how that works out. Warner Bros. We've greenlit Wonder Woman 3 for you, Patty Jenkins. Yeah, sure. Call me when you have your issues sorted out. By the way, it's kind of telling how long have been waiting for Aquaman 2, adding to the shelving of the trench, and Juan has to wonder if Warner Brothers has his back on anything either. And this is after he got them $1 billion. If Warner Brothers has any brains, they would have fast-tracked Aquaman 2 and the trench for Juan. We'd have gotten both by now. I don't know how Juan thinks of this whole situation. I wonder about that. Like, I know Aquaman 2 is still happening. It's going to shoot this year, I think. So it's going to shoot soon. So, but I don't know. I wonder what he thinks about this. And in fact, that's got to be a thing. I mean, will every DC movie coming out, will if it comes out and you have those red carpet and, I don't know if it's red carpet, but like those, press interviews and stuff like that. Do you think the press, because there's going to be a lot of press junkets, would that be the time where they ask him questions that are not related to Aquaman? It's like, hey, what do you think about Ray Fisher talking about? Hey, what do you think about, it's like, you think, and they would have to be like, oh, I don't want to really talk about that. Makes him look even more bad, right? I mean, it's just shameful and embarrassing. As the good book says, pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall. If Warner Brothers were to approach this situation with actual humility, a lot of money will be made. Listen to your customers and you will make money. If you don't, you won't. Seems like a pretty smart concept. Geek Haven Janice. Oh, since I got you here, before I read your comment, you sent me this. Thank you. Oh, Midtown Comics. So I'm going to open it now. I opened the hard part of it, but now I'm going to open up the easy part of it. And let's see. Oh, I think I remember you saying this, but now you just reminded me. Justice League comics, but with the Zack Snyder's Justice League cover on them. So cool. Here's another one. Woo! This is amazing art here. Thank you very much, Geek Haven Jan 86. This is the other one. It's probably one of my favorites because it's got Black Suit Superman right there, Dark Side right there, and pretty much one of the most amazing moments right on this cover. Like, seriously, like the best track and the two best tracks in Junkie XL for me is Superman Rising Part 2 and the Speed Force song, and it's right here on this one cover. So that's really cool. The two of the greatest moments in my mind. So thank you so much, Geek Haven Jan 86 for that. All right, let's get to your comment. Before watching this video, I was already boycotting any future DCU projects. Now I think I will be boycotting Warner Brothers altogether. The only reason I was even remotely looking forward to The Flash was because of Michael Keaton. Now, even if I wasn't boycotting the DCU Warner Brothers, they lost my money. I don't know if it's just me, but anytime I go to stream Zack Snyder's Justice League now, it will keep stopping on its own if I'm not paying attention. Maybe Warner Brothers caught on to us and is preventing fans helping the view counts. You know, I've been having that issue too. Like, it would just stop and I would have to reboot. And I'm like, so far, no other HBO Max movie does that. And I'm like, that'd be pretty shady, but I don't know. Should we still continue to keep our HBO Max subs? I'm not so sure anymore because it seems like Warner Bros. Is getting to them. Add to the fact that we still have not seen the numbers for Zack Snyder's Justice League. On a lighter note, I'm very excited Jensen Ackles is finally Batman. The Long Halloween trailer is pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. If you could pick any story to be adapted into an animated film, which would it be? I'm hoping they will do Batman Nightfall Saga. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. I would love to see that. I would love to see Batman Nightfall Saga. That would be a really cool one. You know, I want to see some big ones. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not, one that I don't know. I would rather see of a film for it. Like, most of the time I would love to see films. And I've always said Kingdom Come, but I'm going to let that go for now. Because, I've always said Kingdom Come. But how about... I know it probably works better as a live action than animated, but it'll be still kind of cool. Identity Crisis. I love Identity Crisis. It was just so different. It was so different and so compelling. And it speaks to, like, it's dark, too. So I'm like, Identity Crisis would be a cool adaptation of some sort, So, but thanks for the comics, and thanks for the comment. The more that comes out about all the drama and Warner Bros. Just shows more and more how incompetent and idiotic those execs are. If they insist on nitpicking and micromanaging these directors, then they might as well start writing and directing these movies themselves. See how that works for them. Yeah, seriously, right? And they tried, and that was the 2017 Justice League. Oh, by the way, about those HBO Max subs. I'd say maybe after, if you guys don't want to, sub, I'm not particularly saying that don't sub anymore, but, like, I think we're past the point where it has any effect on, like, because if the subs drop after Godzilla vs. Kong, then it shows that, oh, okay, so after Godzilla vs. Kong, the subs drop. Or, even if you want to be a little bit safer, after Mortal Kombat, and then they can see the drop off is like the month later, so we're not in the month that we're not in the month that Zack Snyder, or it's already April actually, so it really, I don't know, but so I mean, if you guys don't want to put money into it anymore or things like that, then I guess go ahead, because like if it dropped in March right after Zack Snyder's Justice League, that would have looked bad, right? Or even the second week or something like that. But now it's in April, so it's after Godzilla vs. Kong. It's a little bit safer, I would say, if you want to do that. Like, if you want to, I'm still going to continue on because this is my kind of like my thing. I have to tell you about it, so I'll continue on. But if you feel like doing that, that's up to you. I'm not going to say do it or not do it, but I'd say it's the month after already, so. Take whatever you want from that. Chris Steppenwolf said to Wonder Woman that she could have saved her sisters, so I'm thinking she would be able to beat him alone. If you watch the movie, she doesn't lose to him at the end one-on-one matches. What's your thoughts? She could have saved, so I'm thinking. Oh, okay. What that conversation to me, Steppenwolf telling her, is and you see it at the end. It's not because of the fight. It's not because of she can beat him, whatever. It's more of that purpose for that was so that she doesn't know if her mom died. She doesn't know if all her sisters died. Steppenwolf is implying that Themyscira is gone, like he destroyed that. So she's worried, right? And that's why at the end she's holding the arrow, because as we know in the storyboards, she's supposed to go back to Themyscira. She's working to find her way home. And so, to me, everything that Steppenwolf says to her in regards to Themyscira is just making her think, like, making her second guess, like, are they safe? Did they die? Are they okay? And makes her really want to go home more and more. So I think that's the whole point of him just, calling out to her and stuff like that. So, but anyway, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And next weekend is going to be incredible. Next weekend is Justice Con, and we're going to have Zack Snyder, Chris Terrio, probably Ray Fisher, Ray Porter, I think Jay Oliva again, and I'm trying to remember all the Joe Manganiello, I think, Dave Bautista. There's going to be a ton of people there, and it's going to be a great celebration for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and also Army of the Dead as well. So, and also next Tuesday, Army of the Dead trailer, so look out for that. But yeah, let's see what happens. Every day is seemingly, amazingly have something happen, and that's why I'm here, because this is my life. I love it. I love reading about it. I love telling you about it. I love reporting on it. And hopefully you are happy with the daily news. So thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of entertainment, news, and content, please click the like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, keep this hot dog light on. See you next time. Bye.